You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine your phone rings. It's an unknown number, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the voice sounds, well, kind of official.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's about some lottery you never even entered, or a delivery you definitely didn't order.
Or, it could be online. A message from some charming stranger who seems just maybe a little too perfect.
Exactly. It feels off, it does. But then just this tiny little hook catches your attention.
Yeah.
And suddenly those small, maybe harmless seeming interactions,
Yeah.
they can blow up into a major cyber threat, costing you thousands, disrupting critical services, or honestly even bringing down a whole corporation.
Right.
You might think these stories sound a bit far-fetched, like something out of a movie, but they are happening right now to real people, real businesses.
And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how these incidents that seem totally separate, like a phone scam versus an international arrest, they often boil down to remarkably similar vulnerabilities.
How so?
Well, sometimes it's technical flaws, sure, but more often it's human vulnerabilities. So today, this deep dive is all about that multifaceted world of cyber threats. We're going to navigate, everything from those everyday scams targeting users like you and me,
Right.
all the way up to sophisticated attacks on huge corporations, and even the sort of geopolitical chess game that cybercrime has become.
So we're dissecting recent incidents, using the material you, the listener, shared with us.
Exactly. We'll highlight the crucial role of expert organizations and best practices in trying to handle this landscape that just keeps changing.
And we'll find out why a super simple default password could potentially bring down an empire.
Yeah, and how an elite athlete somehow got mixed up in a global ransomware network. It's quite a range.
It really is. And we're going to start right where it matters most with us, the users. Because, sometimes the biggest vulnerability isn't hidden in the code, is it?
No, it's often in human nature itself.
Let's talk about that human element then, those everyday scams and that dark art of social engineering.
Indeed. And we've seen a pretty significant recent operation by the Guardia Civil in Spain. They dismantled a criminal network that was specializing in both love scams, or estafas del amor, as they call them there, and also business fraud.
Wow.
Yeah, they made a big move, brought in 15 arrests.
15. And those love scams, they're just incredibly insidious, aren't they? I mean, they create these fake identities using stolen photos or even AI-generated images now.
Which look perfectly real.
Totally real. In seconds. And then they craft these elaborate, really emotionally manipulative backstories.
Like tales of being in the military in some conflict zone or maybe a blocked inheritance.
Yeah. It almost reminds you of those old Nigerian print scams,
It does, but with this terrifyingly modern digital twist.
Right.
And they prey on people who might be lonely or perhaps older individuals. They meticulously earn their trust, often over months, before they even think about asking for anything.
And that leads to huge financial losses.
Truly significant losses. We saw this really poignant case from 2023 where a woman was defrauded of, get this, 100,000 euro.
100,000 euros.
Yeah, by someone posing as a U.S. Army official, just constantly requesting transfers for various made-up reasons, like needing money for a flight ticket home or something.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It is. And the emotional toll, beyond the financial loss is just immense.
And it's not just these big dramatic stories that prove the point, is it? I actually had a personal encounter that really brought it home for me.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, just the other day, I got a call at my house. The person on the other end quite convincingly told me I'd won 100,000 euro peg for a dryer I apparently purchased 8 years ago.
Hold on, a dryer. You want 100 grand for an old dryer?
Exactly. Now, I have owned a dryer maybe even around that time. And for just a split second, my mind actually started racing, thinking, wait, where did I buy that dryer?
Okay, wait a minute. With all your cybersecurity awareness, you're telling me you almost fell for a dryer scam. That's quite the confession.
Well, no, I didn't fall for it. But honestly, it held my attention for a good 30 or 40 seconds. And that's the thing. Even when it sounds completely absurd, like winning money for an 8-year-old appliance, it still makes you pause for a moment, doesn't it?
It does.
It just goes to show that really anyone can be a target of a cyber scam. Doesn't matter how much you think you know about cybersecurity or how tech-savvy you are.
And zooming out for a moment, this just highlights how incredibly sophisticated these psychological tactics have become, doesn't it? These hooks, as you called them, they're meticulously designed to pull you in, to make you bite that lure before your rational brain fully kicks in.
Right, before you have time to think it through.
Exactly. It's pure social engineering, crafted to exploit trust or curiosity or maybe just a moment of distraction before you even realize what's happening.
Absolutely. And it's frightening to think how easily those personal hooks can then scale up, right? Escalating pretty quickly to a full-blown corporate battleground where the stakes are just so much higher.
Oh, definitely. Businesses are constantly under attack, facing really sophisticated fraud and crippling ransomware.
So what kinds of things are we seeing there?
Well, one pervasive threat we're seeing a lot of is the man-in-the-middle attack.
Man in the middle. Explain that a bit.
Okay, so this is where criminals compromise email services. They essentially insert themselves almost invisibly into a company's communications.
Like eavesdropping?
Kind of, but more active. They can intercept things like invoices, and then quietly, almost imperceptibly, they change the payment account details on that invoice.
Oh, wow.
So the money then gets sent directly to the criminal's account instead of the legitimate vendor or client.
That sounds terrifying because it's so subtle. You think you're paying a trusted supplier, someone you've worked with for ages.
Exactly. But the money is diverted. It's an incredibly sophisticated, silent method of fraud that can go undetected for weeks, even months.
So what's the defense here? It can't just be about firewalls and antivirus, can it? Because if the emails look legitimate, how do you even know?
Yeah. You're absolutely right. The defense isn't just about technology. It's crucially about people and processes.
Okay.
Organizations need robust validation procedures for any changes to payment information.
Okay.
Meaning you verify those details through a secondary channel, maybe a phone call to a known verified number you already have for that contact, not just replying to the email where the change was requested.
Okay. Don't trust the channel that gave you the suspicious info.
Precisely. It's a vital lesson for any business, large or small, or even for you, the listener, in your daily interactions. Always, always double-check payment details, especially if they've suddenly changed.
That's a huge takeaway. Simple, but potentially saves you a fortune.
Absolutely.
And speaking of crippling attacks, we saw that ransomware attack on Logrit, that major logistics center for sanitary material in Catalonia. That wasn't just a minor glitch, was it?
No, it truly wasn't. It had a far-reaching impact. Now, while the attack didn't directly affect, say, immediate medical attention in hospitals.
Okay, that's good.
It did cripple their digital ordering services, which in turn severely disrupted a critical supply chain. Think about the domino effect there, especially for something as essential as sanitary material.
Yeah, that's huge.
And beyond that disruption, the criminals also stole sensitive data. From around 300 professionals, we're talking national ID numbers, bank accounts.
Oh, no. So it's double trouble.
Exactly. Which opens the door to further identity theft and fraud down the line for those individuals. And the ransom demanded was somewhere between 1 and 3 million euros.
1 to 3 million euros. That is a staggering amount and just a truly terrifying scenario for any organization. So beyond the immediate devastation, what's the absolute priority? The moment they realize they're under such an attack, how can they possibly protect themselves, especially when their data has also been stolen?
Well, the key, and this comes up again and again, is the critical importance of offline backups.
Offline backups, meaning
systems that are not connected to the internet or the company's main network. Think air-gapped.
Right. Completely separate.
This guarantees that an organization can restore its systems and data even if its primary systems are encrypted or totally wiped out by the attackers.
Okay.
And it also helps prevent that double extortion scenario you mentioned, where criminals threaten to leak the stolen data if the ransom isn't paid, even if the systems could theoretically be recovered.
Because you have your own copy safe.
Exactly. Without those air-gapped backups, you're often left with absolutely no good options. Pay the ransom, hope they give you the key, hope to delete the data. It's a bad place to be.
Offline backups, simple concept, but absolutely essential. So we've seen how these sophisticated attacks can disrupt critical supply chains. But sometimes, it's not the grand, complex Mission Impossible style attack that causes the most damage, is it?
No, sometimes it's something incredibly basic. A surprising vulnerability that just makes you shake your head and wonder how.
Like the McDonald's story.
Indeed. There's that widely discussed aha moment concerning McDonald's that perfectly illustrates this point. A security researcher, Ian Carroll, was just, poking around various applications. Just looking. And he stumbled upon this login portal called MyHire. Apparently, it's used by something like 90% of McDonald's franchises for hiring new staff.
Okay, so pretty important.
Very important. And what he found was just astonishing. It was accessible with the default credentials, admin and 123456.
Wait. Admin and 123456. Are you kidding me? For real.
For real.
A global giant like McDonald's had a portal used for hiring with people's data exposed with that kind of basic security blunder. That's like leaving your front door wide open with a neon sign saying, "Come on in."
Yeah.
How is that even possible for a company that size?
That's exactly the reaction everyone had. This single oversight granted administrative access to the entire platform and potentially exposed, get ready for this, 64 million candidate records.
64 million.
64 million. Name, contact details, potentially more. And furthermore, there was an API vulnerability that allowed mass data extraction just by changing employee numbers in the web address.
You just cycle through numbers and pull out everyone's info.
Pretty much, enabling anyone who found it to just vacuum up a trove of personal information. What's fascinating and scary here is that even a global giant can be vulnerable to such a basic security lapse.
But why? How does that happen?
Often it's due to forgotten systems, maybe old zombie pages that nobody maintains anymore, or outsourced systems where accountability just gets lost over time. Someone sets it up quickly, uses the default password, and then forgets about it.
Wow.
It just underscores that your security is only as strong as your absolute weakest link, even if that link is some dusty old web page nobody's looked at in 10 years.
So the lesson for us, for the listener, is crystal clear then. Companies bear responsibility for all their systems, including third-party ones, and every forgotten corner of their digital presence.
Absolutely.
This incident just screams the need for attack surface monitoring, really knowing what you have exposed to the internet and regular penetration testing to catch these seemingly basic, yet potentially catastrophic oversights.
You got it. It's not enough to secure your main, shiny new infrastructure if some forgotten outsourced system becomes an open door for millions of records.
Okay, wow. And if that wasn't wild enough, how about a story that sounds like it's ripped straight from a Cold War spy novel?
Ah, yes.
The world of cybersecurity just delivered what some people are actually calling a bridge of spies moment.
Yes, it's quite the narrative, isn't it? This story involves the arrest of Danil Kazatkin. He's a 26-year-old Russian professional basketball player.
A pro athlete. He was detained at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, and he's accused by the U.S. of acting as a negotiator, like a middleman, for a ransomware group. A negotiator for ransomware.
That's the allegation. This group is supposedly responsible for extorting hundreds of victims worldwide. Huge sums of money involved.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. You can't help but think of the geopolitical context, can you? Especially with Russia's previous detention of an American basketball player.
Brittany Griner, yeah.
Exactly. It immediately brings to mind those classic spy swap scenarios, doesn't it? Now, the athlete's lawyer, for what it's worth, claims he just bought a secondhand computer and is completely tech literate. Like, doesn't know anything about this stuff.
Right, that's the defense. But if we step back and consider the wider implications here, it highlights not just the truly global reach of cybercrime, how it crosses borders so easily, but also this critical, often overlooked issue of properly wiping secondhand devices before you sell them or pass them on.
Ah, interesting point. Even if his defense is true.
Exactly. Even if he's just an innocent guy who bought a used laptop, the potential for sensitive information, maybe from the previous owner or related to this group, to remain on improperly erased devices is immense. So this case truly blends elite sport, international cybercrime, and high-stakes diplomacy into this really complex, still evolving narrative. It just demonstrates how intertwined our digital and physical worlds have become now.
What a world. Seriously. So, okay, we've talked about individual vulnerabilities like the love scams and my infamous dryer call.
We won't forget the dryer call.
Right. We've covered the corporate battlegrounds, the ransomware, the man-in-the-middle stuff, and these surprising, almost unbelievable incidents like McDonald's and the basketball player. But who are the organizations working behind the scenes, trying to build resilience and actually professionalize cybersecurity in the face of all this chaos?
That's a great question, and it brings us nicely to ISACA.
ISACA.
ISACA, the Information Systems Audit and Control Association. It's a global nonprofit organization, and it's dedicated to fostering the development of methodologies, standards, and certifications for information systems audit and control.
Okay. Global, you say.
Massive. Present in over 188 countries, with about 185,000 associates globally. The Madrid chapter alone, which was founded way back in 1987, has around 1,450 members. So they have a significant presence.
Okay, so they've been around for a while then. How has ISACA changed? How have they evolved to meet today's challenges? Because, let's be honest, cybersecurity wasn't really even a concept back in 1969 when the Global Association was founded.
Right, things have changed just a bit since then.
Just a bit.
They certainly have evolved. Initially, ISACA's focus was primarily on auditing information systems, making sure the IT systems did what they were supposed to do, basically.
Okay.
However, the field, as you said, has dramatically evolved. So now their focus is much, much broader. It encompasses governance, risk management, compliance, and overall security management.
So the bigger picture.
Exactly. Their core vision now is really about contributing to quality and excellence across the board in the governance of security, risk management, regulatory compliance, and still the information security audit and control piece.
And that evolution makes sense, right? Because cybersecurity has gone from being this, like, niche technical thing hidden in the IT department
Totally.
to being a strategic priority. It affects business objectives, asset protection, operational resilience, everything.
Precisely. It's truly about an integral approach now. ISACA focuses on the interplay between the process, the people, and the technology. You can't effectively manage security by just looking at one of those in isolation.
Right. It all has to work together. That makes perfect sense. But let's be real for a second. Investing in these certifications, getting trained, it probably isn't cheap or easy, right? So what's the biggest hurdle ISACA sees for someone trying to get certified? And maybe more importantly, how do they help people overcome that?
That's a really good question, and it speaks directly to the core value ISACA provides. What's crucial here is that ISACA offers internationally recognized, standardized, and importantly, ethical knowledge through its certifications.
Standardized and ethical.
This helps organizations avoid just sort of groping in the dark,
Yeah.
trying to figure out cybersecurity management from scratch.
Right. Reinventing the wheel badly.
Exactly. Certified professionals bring a coherent, ethical, and standardized approach to security. And that is absolutely vital for preventing those small failures like the default password we talked about that can add up and lead to those major breaches.
So it's about building a solid, consistent foundation, which is an investment, not just a cost.
Precisely. It's an investment in competence and reliability.
Okay. Given their position, looking across this whole landscape, what does ISAC identify as the really key challenges in cybersecurity right now? Beyond just the technical hacks, what are the big overarching issues everyone's grappling with?
Yeah, they highlight several critical areas. First, unsurprisingly, is the sheer sophistication and volume of threats. They're constantly growing, constantly evolving, and things like AI are just accelerating this trend, making attacks potentially faster and harder to detect.
So organizations need better prevention, detection, and response.
Absolutely. Robust capabilities across the board. Second, there's the regulatory burden. Especially in Europe, you've got new directives like NIS2, that's the Network and Information Security Directive, and DORA, the Digital Operational Resilience Act for the financial sector.
Right. More rules to follow.
More rules, which means increased compliance efforts, especially hitting small and medium-sized enterprises, quite hard. However, ISACA also views this as an opportunity.
An opportunity? How so?
Because compliance is becoming mandatory, it gives security professionals leverage to secure the necessary budgets for cybersecurity projects. It forces the conversation at the board level.
Oh, okay. We have to do this, so we need the resources.
Exactly. Third, and this is huge, supply chain risks. We touched on this with Logrit. Third-party vendors, software suppliers, the whole chain. They are now primary attack vectors, even for organizations that have really high security maturity internally.
Because you don't control your supplier's security as tightly.
Precisely. Your security is only as strong as the weakest link in your entire supply chain.
Okay, that's scary. And I imagine budgeting is always a tough one too, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
often seen as just a cost center, not something that adds value.
That's a perennial challenge. Cybersecurity is frequently viewed as a cost, not an investment that provides ROI. So a big part of the CISO's, the Chief Information Security Officer's role now, is demonstrating that value, showing top management how security protects the brand, ensures business continuity, builds customer trust, essentially proving the ROI,
Making the business case.
making the business case. And finally, there's the talent gap. It's massive.
Yeah, you hear about this all the time.
There's just immense demand for skilled cybersecurity professionals. And it's not just technical knowledge they need anymore. They need a global vision, a strong business understanding, communication skills. It's a complex, multifaceted role, and there just aren't enough people to fill the seats.
Okay, so ISACA recognizes all these big challenges: sophistication, regulation, supply chain, budget, talent. How do they actually address them? What solutions do they offer, especially on the training and professional development front, to tackle that talent gap?
Well, ISACA's core solution really lies in its portfolio of leading certifications. These are globally recognized benchmarks of expertise.
Like which ones?
Okay, so they have CISA, that's the Certified Information Systems Auditor, the gold standard for InfoSec auditors. Then there's CISM, the Certified Information Security Manager, hugely popular, used by about 78,000 professionals globally. This one really focuses on CISOs and security leads, covering governance and management strategy.
Right.
Then you have CRISIS, certified in Risk and Information Systems Control, which is all about risk management, and CGEC, certified in the governance of enterprise IT, focusing on IT governance at a high level.
That's a solid core. Are they keeping up with new tech too?
They are. They're adapting. They've introduced newer certifications like one called COSIE Certified in Emerging Technology, which helps cybersecurity analysts focus on things like cloud security and digital transformation impacts, and even AISM, the Advanced AI Security Manager certification. So yes, they're showing a clear commitment to keeping pace with emerging technologies like AI.
That's a really comprehensive suite then. But what about staying current? You know, technology moves so incredibly fast, a certification you earned 5 years ago might feel a bit dusty now, right?
That's a crucial point. And ISAC addresses it with a pretty unique requirement.
Yeah.
Continuous learning. It's built in.
How does that work?
To maintain their certifications, any of those main ones, professionals have to earn 120 CPEs. That's continuing professional education hours.
Okay.
They have to earn 120 of those every 3 years. And there's a minimum requirement of 20 CPEs each year.
So you can't just cram at the end.
Exactly. It ensures that you don't just get the title and then coast. You keep earning it year after year by staying updated with the latest trends, threats, technologies, regulations, all of it.
That's smart. Makes the certification much more valuable long term.
Definitely. And they also foster this community and ongoing education through lots of events. Their Madrid chapter, for example, runs 3 big annual congresses focusing on audit and GRC, a main Madrid event, and one called Cibertodos. Plus, they have regular ISACA Thursdays, seminars covering hot topics like AI, quantum computing, digital identity, things like that. It builds a community of practice.
So if someone's listening right now and thinking, okay, this sounds great, ISACA sounds important, but maybe they don't have years of experience in the field yet, can ISACA help them start a career path? Or is it really only for seasoned professionals?
No, absolutely. It's designed as a pathway for everyone. Even those without direct professional experience can begin with ISACA certificates.
Certificates, not certifications. What's the difference?
Right. Certificates are more knowledge-based. They provide foundational understanding and a structured learning path in specific areas. This allows individuals to gain a solid foothold in the field, learn the language, understand the concepts.
Okay, build the base knowledge.
Exactly. Then, once they accumulate the required professional work experience, they can go on to pursue the full, more demanding certifications like CISA or CISM. It's designed to build expertise and confidence progressively, helping to fill that talent pipeline in a really vital and growing profession.
Wow, what a journey we've taken today. Seriously. From those really personal, insidious love scams and, yes, my own embarrassing dryer call moments.
Still memorable.
To the sophisticated corporate breaches, the ransomware nightmares, those crazy vulnerabilities like default passwords, and then diving into the critical role of professional organizations like ISACA in trying to build resilience across this entire digital landscape.
It really highlights how interconnected all these threats are, doesn't it? And just how much work goes into trying to protect us all from the individual level right up to global enterprises.
It truly does. And for you, the listener, wrapping this up, there are some clear, practical takeaways you can implement right now, today.
Absolutely. First and foremost, two-factor authentication to TINVAC. It's not just a good idea anymore, folks. It really should be seen as a mandatory defense wherever it's offered.
Even if it feels like an extra step, an extra hassle.
Yes, even then. That extra step makes your account significantly more secure. Even if, heaven forbid, your password isn't the strongest, 2FA provides a massive additional layer of protection.
And it's evolved, hasn't it? It's not just those annoying SMS codes anymore.
Right. It's evolved from SMS to authenticator apps on your phone to biometrics like fingerprint or Face ID. It's generally easier and more seamless than ever to implement, and it's just a fundamental shield against so many common attacks. Use it.
Okay. Message received?
Yeah.
Enable 2FA everywhere. And on passwords.
Yeah.
Please continue to demand robust password policies from the services you use. The days of websites allowing password or 123456 need to be firmly, permanently behind us. As we've heard, industry efforts and regulations are working to standardize these security measures, making strong passwords and things like 2FA more common and expected.
And the more we as users demand and expect it as a baseline, the safer we'll all be collectively. It raises the bar for everyone.
It really does. It's about making security an automatic, intuitive part of our digital lives, isn't it? Not some chore or afterthought that we only consider after something bad has already happened.
Precisely. Building it into the fabric of how we interact online.
So as we've seen today, cybersecurity is clearly no longer just some technical issue for the IT folks. It's absolutely fundamental. It's part of business strategy. It's part of operational resilience. It's part of personal safety. The real question, maybe, for you listening is, are you just reacting to threats? Or are you just sort of hoping for the best? Or are you actively demanding and building resilience into your digital life and into the organizations you interact with every day?
That's the key question. Because investing in cybersecurity, whether it's your time enabling 2FA or a company investing in training and tools, it really isn't just a cost. It's an investment that returns far more than it might seem on the surface. It protects not just data, but it protects trust. It protects business continuity, and ultimately it protects your future.